Welcome to Today in Prophecy, daily news in 15 minutes or less. It's news with the Bible as perspective. Man, is there a lot to talk about. Check this out. Iran downed Israeli UAV, dirty bomb attack. This could be Iran's next move against Israel. We've talked a little bit about this the last couple of days. Going to look at it right now. But first, Iran's Ayatollah Khomeini responds to Trump threats. We cannot surrender. Now let's look at this. What is this all about? What's going on? Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khomeini warned that any U.S. military intervention amid the ongoing Iran-Israel conflict would bring irreversible repercussions, declaring that Iran cannot surrender under external pressure. President Donald Trump has threatened Iran with demands for unconditional surrender, asserting that Washington knows where Khomeini is hiding and weighing whether to join Israeli operations against Tehran. Khomeini's televised address rejected surrender and warned that any military intervention would provoke an irreparable response, reinforcing Iran's stance of steadfast resistance amid escalating regional tensions. Wow. I look at this and think, okay, Khomeini was already warned. Trump said, hey, you've got 60 days. We've all heard that now. Wouldn't respond, kept threatening. Khomeini kept on saying, no, we don't care what Trump says. We don't care about Israel. We're not entering into any kind of negotiating. We're not going to stop our nuclear program, and on and on and on. And then it just all went loose on him. And many people have been killed. Many leaders have been killed. By the way, Israel still targets the military targets, not the civilians, unlike Iran, which targets civilians. But that is typically the Islamic way. But we see what is going on, and between Israel and the U.S., it's very clear this is business. And Khomeini just seems to be digging his heels in further with his pride, saying, I don't care what you say. We are not going to enter into any kind of an agreement with you. We are not going to stop building our nuclear facility. We are going to enrich our nuclear capabilities because we want to bring death to Israel. I mean, that's the reality of what is happening. And amidst the Tucker Carlsons of the world saying that Iran just wants to have a peaceful resolution, no, they do not. And then with that, let's work through this for just a minute. And then we're going to work on to the next couple of articles here too. But I've been asked a lot about what is going on with Iran right now. If the U.S. doesn't get involved, if the Fordo nuclear site is not eliminated, then couldn't Israel just enter into a peace agreement with Khomeini? And Ezekiel 38 verse 11 Ezekiel chapter 38 war happened then, where verse 11 tells us that Israel must be dwelling without bars or gates, dwelling in peace and safety when the surprise attack comes from Russia, Iran, and Turkey. Folks, I don't see how it could possibly work out that way. Israel still has a problem with Gaza. They've got to finish it, although Hamas backs are up against the wall, Hezbollah, Houthis, they're still a problem. There's still a cancer there in Gaza, and with Hezbollah, and with the Houthis. These are all Iranian proxies with radical terrorists. And then inside Israel, you still have the problem inside of Hebron and inside of Shechem, both areas within Judea and Samaria. So Israel cannot yet, at this point, be in Ezekiel 38, verse 11, dwelling in peace and safety without bars or gates, and a surprise attack would come against them. How could Israel get to that place? The only place I could see where they could come to that type of peace and safety is if the Fordo nuclear power plant issue is dealt with. It has to be dealt a final blow. As long as you have these radical terrorists that are running Iran, and someone like Khomeini who says, no, we're not going to surrender, we're not entering any peace with you, and they still got their nuclear facility intact, can you trust them? Could Israel actually say, okay, all is good now? And I don't think they could be trusted at all, again, regardless of what Tucker Carlson says. And remember, Iran still has to live to see another day when Russia leads the war of Ezekiel 38 against Israel. So I'm looking at it thinking, if this nuclear facility is not dealt with, the Fordo nuclear facility, and the other threats out of Iran, listen, still have the Republican Guard there in Iran. They're still running. You still have many leaders, military leaders, or anti-Israel, anti-America, that are still in Iran. So we have these dynamics that are still there. In order for Israel to dwell in peace and safety, these things need to be eliminated. However, there has to be enough bad people still around in order to join with Russia when Russia leads that Ezekiel 38 attack against the nation of Israel. So I look at this, we're not there yet, but it appears to me the U.S. is probably going to get involved, or this whole thing gets pushed off another year and then another year, and it's just another fake peace, and Israel still deals with Gaza, if Iran isn't dealt with, they're still going to deal with Hamas in Gaza, still going to deal with the problems in Judea and Samaria, the Houthis and Hezbollah. Their cancers are going to come back and get stronger and stronger. So as I look at the Bible, this needs to be dealt with. If it's not dealt with, being Iran, then it's just going to be pushed off another year, and then another year, and another year. Iran's going to get stronger again. The other terrorists are going to get stronger again. And Israel's going to be continuing to deal with that problem. But we'll see how this plays out. We know eventually that the fulfillment of the Bible is going to take place. We know Daniel chapter 9, verse 24, 70 weeks are determined for your people, for your holy city. What for? One of the purposes, one of the 6 purposes, is to seal up vision and prophecy. Prophecy will be fulfilled. When? I don't know. But eventually it's going to come back. Could be now. Could be pushed off into the future, depending on how this goes with Iran. By the way, I want to invite you to join us in Santa Barbara, California, coming up in August 9th. Be there Saturday with James Cadiz, David Tao, Brandon Holthouse, and myself. And I'm also going to be staying over to Sunday to speak at the church there. It's August 9th and August 10th. You can register at hopeforourtimes.com. Check it out. Would love to meet you there if you're in the California area, the southern or mid part of Central California area. Join us in Santa Barbara coming up in August. In September, I'd like to invite you to join us in Texas. We'll be just outside of Dallas and Rockwall, Texas. Going to be an outstanding conference. I mean, all the different speakers that are going to be there. We have a Shabbat. So the conference starts on Friday. It's going to go Saturday also. And then I'm also going to stay over Sunday for Sunday services. But on Friday, the conference is going to begin. We're going to have a Shabbat dinner Friday night for anybody who wants to register for that. A catered dinner. There's limited room for the Shabbat dinner. That's going to be led by Olivier Melnick, and you'll be able to sit down with the various speakers that will be joining us for the dinner. Don't know who all's going to join us for dinner yet, but I'll be there, and Olivier will be there. Also speaking at that conference is going to be Eric Stackelbeck, Dr. Hormuz Shariat, Pete Garcia, Andy Woods is going to be there, and a couple of others. And I have a guest that I haven't mentioned yet, going to hold off on that one. Surprise guest. It's going to be a great conference coming up in Texas. One final thing. Listen, I have a new book that is coming up in just about a week, going to be released week and a half. It's not going to be for sale anywhere. Not going to be for sale on Amazon. Not even at Hope for Our Times. It is not going to be for sale. It's a gift that I'm giving as a thank you to anybody who has financially partnered. You've come alongside of Hope for Our Times and supported us over this past, since 2025, since January. You've come alongside to support us, and we want to bless you with this. And I just want to say thank you. We couldn't do it without you. We're not supported by any church or any organization. It's just you guys. The title of the book is Israel's Place in God's Eternal Plan. It's based on some messages I had done back in 2013 and then updated them throughout the years, and finally decided about 6 months ago, let's put it into a book format, update everything. And it's great, especially for the time that we are in now. But again, it's not going to be for sale, but I want to give it to you guys. It's going to be ebook, also be audio, and you can download it. So you will receive it in your email at the end of January. And it's just my way of just saying thank you. And if you haven't supported us financially yet, and you're thinking, I would like to do that, I appreciate everything that you do, from the news updates to the podcast to the Sunday morning, Sunday nights, and you'd like to support us, listen, you will also get that. We'll send it to you. And again, I just want to thank you, because literally we couldn't do do it without your support and without your prayers. So it's our way of saying thank you. Okay, let's move on from there and check this out. The Israeli Defense Force confirms drone has been downed in Iran. The incident marks the first time since the launch of the current operation that the IDF has confirmed the loss of an aircraft to Iranian fire. The Israeli Defense Forces announced on Wednesday an Israeli Air Force drone had been downed in Iranian territory by a surface-to-air missile. The IDF reported that there were no injuries in the incident and emphasized that there was no risk of a security or information breach. Earlier in the day, Iranian state-run media aired footage they claim showed the wreckage of an Israeli Hermes 900 drone reportedly downed over the Isfahan region. The incident marks the first time since the launch of the current operation that the IDF has confirmed the loss of an aircraft to the Iranian fire. By the way, I want to say this. As we're watching this war unfold between Iran and Israel, quite frankly, there has never been in the history of the world a war that has been so strategic and so focused on just taking out the necessary problems, the problem leaders, not going for the civilian casualties, so specific, so targeted, even with the people that, like Mossad agents and some of the Iranian agents that were also not supportive of what Iran was doing, but are supporting Israel and have been able to take out certain targets in Iran on their own too, but it's been so strategic with so limited casualties, even in the midst of the reports from mainstream media that Israel has completely leveled apartment buildings with all these civilian casualties. It's a lie. And it's just like they've been lying about Gaza, they're lying about Iran too. It's just been an amazing thing to watch how strategic Israel has been in making sure that they're going after the necessary targets. Iran has got their backs up against the wall. What will Iran do next? Folks, that takes us to the next concern, because Iran doesn't have a lot of options left at this point. And this is out of World Israel News. Dirty bomb attack. This could be Iran's next move against Israel. We talked a little bit about this just the other day, but this says Supreme Leader al-Khamenei continues to vow revenge against Israel. Israel has prepared a bitter fate for itself, which it will surely receive, he announced. His time, however, is running out. Israel's strikes into Iran are more precise and effective than Iran's missile and drone barrages. Every Iranian launch exposes batteries and launch sites Israel then targets. While Israel can continue its air and missile strikes to degrade the regime's nuclear and military sites and eliminate its leadership, the Iranian military essentially flails ineffectively. However, Khamenei is vowing to make good on his threat. Mentioned this the other day. I'm going to mention it again right now. In fact, I was on Ricky Scaparo's program just the other night too, last night. But here's the real problem. It is the threat of chemical warfare against Israel, because Israel is known to have chemical weapons, and so is Syria. So Israel's been very concerned about what's going on in Syria, and they have been for quite some time. Could that lead to the destruction of Damascus, Isaiah chapter 17? Because Israel knows that a chemical war would be extremely bad. And Iran, is this what Khamenei's going to do? It's known that Iran has these chemical weapons. They have not yet used them. Will Iran use chemical weapons? That changes the warfare dramatically, as that would just be targeting the mass civilian deaths and destruction within Israel, yet Israel has not targeted civilians. Will Khamenei, is that what he's vowing to do? Does that explain why he doesn't care what Trump says? We're not going to be surrendering and entering into any peace agreement. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Pray for the peace of Israel. God bless you guys. Thank you for joining me.